So first you're gonna need just like a practice piece of felt, just like a scrap piece of felt, doesn't really matter. Your needle and some thread. All right, so first you're gonna get some thread. Now I usually like to get a piece about arm's length, meaning like from hand to hand. So your wingspan, if you were a bird, I guess. All right, and then you're gonna cut it off. All right, and now you're gonna get that thread on the needle. Again, I'm not gonna do this for you. You need to do it. The locking whip stitch is meant for mainly just for edges, to bring two edges together, right? So first things first, you're gonna start in the corner of wherever you're starting, and generally I like to sew toward myself. Some people like to sew away from themselves. It's up to you. So take the needle, you're gonna be nice and close to the edge. You don't want to be super far away, like down here, there's no point. You're sewing the edge, you should be close to it. But you also don't want to be like here, where it'll be easily pulled through. So like right here is a good distance. So you're going to push your needle all the way through both pieces, just like that. Oh God, like that. Pull through until the knot stops. You see how the knot is not going through the fabric. Good. Now for this first stitch, you're gonna go back through the same hole you just made. You're gonna go all the way through again, and what happens is it makes this nice little loop. See that? You have this loop. The reason it's a locking stitch or locking whip stitch is if you go through the loop with your needle, and when you pull tight, it makes this nice little knot, and the stitch doesn't come undone. So you're just gonna keep going and do the same thing over and over again. You're gonna move down a little from this first stitch. You're gonna move down to here, and you're gonna do another stitch. You're gonna go through both pieces, pull almost till you're almost all the way through. See, I'm almost all the way through. Still have a loop of fabric, or not fabric, a loop of thread. You go through the loop, and you pull tight. Show you how to end the stitch. Say you get to the end of the line of whatever you're sewing, or if you have about this much thread left, you should probably stop or get close to stopping, because it's going to take some thread to sew and to finish off what you're doing, and you don't want to get at the end where you don't have any thread left and you have to cut it, and then you can't tie it and it's just going to come undone. So, what you want to do to stop this piece, you're going to do the same stitch you've been doing. So, say this is your last stitch that I'm doing now. Now, to end it, you're going to do 2 more stitches but this time not moving forward, but in the same spot. So, this is the second one, because your first one was your first one. This is your second one in the same spot. Boom. And 3. This is your third one. There you go. Just like that. Now, you probably can see it. It's a little thicker than the other ones, but there's 3 stitches there, and now all you got to do is cut. Boom. All right. Now, the back stitch doesn't necessarily have to be in the corner. It can literally be in the middle of the piece. It doesn't really matter. Well, it depends on what you're doing. It does matter what you're sewing, but it doesn't matter, like for this instance, if you're just practicing. So I'm gonna do it right in the middle of the piece. So first of all, I'm gonna take my needle, push up through the middle. You see it's coming through. Pull all the way until the knot stops us. Good. Now, the first stitch, what you're gonna do, the first stitch is gonna go down. And I know you're wondering now why it's called the back stitch. You'll see it in the next one. So, you're gonna come down and you should be making a line like this, right? Notice, it's not super far apart. Your needle's on the bottom of the piece. See how the bottom, now you have a bottom and a top. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your needle and you're gonna come back up through the bottom to the top, but a little further away. If you're making this line here, see, if you're making a line like this, you're gonna come up further away from the stitch like this. So you're gonna come up over here somewhere. So I'm gonna come up through the two pieces, just like that. I'm gonna pull through. All right, now this is exactly why it's called the back stitch. Now, to make this line complete, you're gonna go back to the original stitch, the first stitch you made, or back to the last stitch you made, and go down through there. So, when you pull through, you have a complete line. See that? There's no space in between. That's why it's called the back stitch.
Let's do that again. You're going to come back up through the bottom away from your first stitch, just like I did there. See how I'm not right there? I'm away from it. I'm going to pull through, and I'm going to go back down the same spot, just like that. Just like that. See, now it's one solid line. I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to show you what the back looks like. The back foot looks a little different. So, again, a little further away from where I'm sewing, pull all the way through, and now you go back stitch, back to where you were. Now, on this side, it makes a nice line.
Now I'm going to show you how to end this sewing. Now, on the back, this is what you want to do. So you see how you have your threads here. What you want to do is you're going to take your needle, and you're going to go underneath one of your stitches, like that. Can you see? Yep, see how my needle's underneath one of the stitches? I'm going to go pull my thread through, and you're going to see it make a loop, just like that. Now, I'm not going to go through the loop this way. I'm going to go through it this way, around like that. And now I'm going to pull, and it'll make a little bit of a knot right there. And I'm going to do that, you guessed it, 3 times.
So that's once, that's twice, and this is 3 times. All right, there we go. Boom, done. Now you get to cut it off. All right.